So, it's another day in beautiful Bangkok, Thailand, and if you didn't already know, I've been here for well over 2 weeks now, and it's absolutely amazing. I'm loving it. I'm definitely going to move here one day, I reckon. Not going to lie. I kind of do miss Manchester. I kind of do miss England a little bit, but I think it's more just the novelty of the fact that it's my home, and I'm used to it there. I miss the little council estate and stuff like that, and yeah, it's weird because the whole time I was in Manchester, I couldn't wait to get to Thailand. I couldn't wait to get out here and just enjoy it and enjoy something different. I was kind of bored of my usual day-to-day routine of the city. But thinking back now, I miss it. I miss all the little roadmen on my estate. I miss the chaos of going to the shop and just people fucking shooting fireworks out the car window. I miss like the roughness of my city. It's my city, do you know what I mean? Even though it's a shithole, it's my shithole, bro, and I like it. So I kind of miss it a little bit now. It's kind of started to kick in, and obviously my family members and stuff like that as well. But yeah, I've been out here for a good 2 weeks now. On the way here, on the flight, I went to Germany first, and then I went to India, and then I went to Bangkok. So it was 2 stops on the way there. The first one was to Germany, and the whole time, I don't know what it was, I remember sitting on the flight, and the whole time I had this, even before I got on the flight, when I was sat in the check-in area where you put the bags on the thing and you check in the passport and all that kind of stuff. This was my first time abroad, bearing in mind as well. I've never been on a plane before, never been anywhere other than outside of the UK before. So this was my first time abroad. I was doing it completely by myself. My girl's already out here, so I was just coming to see her. I went completely by myself. And you know, to the other side of the fucking world, it's quite the change from what I usually was used to. So I remember on the flight, and on the way here, on the booking here as well, just getting my bags checked, I had this weird sense of anxiety, almost fear, as if something was going to go wrong, as if like, oh, you know, I'd get stopped, or I wouldn't be able to get let over there, or whatever it may be. And I don't even know what caused this, because usually I'm not really a fearful person. I'm not really an anxious person. I don't really worry about things. I kind of take life in a very nonchalant kind of way, but I think because it was an uncertain thing that I've never done before, that's what brought the fear in. That's what kind of made me a bit like, I feel anxious about it. And I analysed it afterwards, and I thought to myself, first of all, the fear is kind of irrelevant. It's not playing a part. There is no actual reason. When I was sat there on the plane, when I was sat in the booking area, when I was sat in the waiting lounge, there wasn't a reason to be scared. There wasn't a reason to feel anxious. There wasn't an actual direct reason of like, oh, this is why my body needs to feel fear right now. I need to run away from something. It was just irrelevant. And I thought to myself, well, in that case, I need to dismiss it. I need to get rid of that fear. I need to stop feeling it, because it's putting me in this negative vibration. It's putting me in this worried, anxious vibration. I'm not going to act my best when I'm in that vibration, right? I understood that. So I thought to myself, okay, step one, let me realize why. Why am I feeling this fear? When usually in situations like this, it wouldn't really scare me. I don't really get scared of much. Nothing really phases me. So why is it that I'm scared now? And it's because 2 things, and I want you to take this in any area of your life, whether it's talking to women, whether it's making money, whether it's starting that new business, whatever it may be. There's 2 reasons why usually you'll feel fear, and I like to label it as irrelevant fear. It's not like there's a saber-toothed tiger running after you trying to attack you. It's not like you're about to get hit by a car. It's not like, you know, you're being robbed. There's no immediate danger. There's no immediate threat. So it's kind of irrelevant, premeditated fear is the best way I can put it, right? 2 ways you can overcome this, and number 1 is by understanding that it's usually caused by uncertainty. I think as human beings, we love to have like a confirmation of the path that we're taking, the thing that we're doing is going to get us our desired outcome. And when we don't have that certainty there, we often feel scared. Our bodies don't like it. You must understand that your caveman brain's only goal is to keep you alive, self-preservation. So it's just going to keep doing the same thing that it's used to. It's going to keep doing the same thing that it knows you're comfortable with. So if you ever go outside your comfort zone, if you ever try anything new, if you ever try and go and talk to that girl for the first time in the gym, you're going to feel fear. But you must understand that this fear is irrelevant. This fear is just simply your caveman brain trying to keep you safe. So you must ignore it. And you can ignore it by, number 1, understanding that personal growth only comes through fear and discomfort and stress and doing things that you're not used to. That is how you grow, that's how you learn, that's how you become a more competent man in every realm. But number 2 is also your imagination. Now, I spoke about this before, how you can literally change your emotional state with your own mind, with your own thoughts. If you were to close your eyes right now and imagine yourself in a fight, for example, and I mean like in vivid detail, you close your eyes and you imagine yourself about to get hit in the face, part of your body, even if it's mildly, would feel some sort of fight or flight response from that. If you did it well enough, if you literally just sat and meditated with no distractions and you convinced yourself that you were in a fight using your imagination, your body would feel fear. Now this is what you're doing to yourself on a day-to-day basis in loads of different areas. This is what I was doing to myself when I was sat on the plane thinking, I really hope I don't get stopped, I really hope I have all the documents that I need, because it was my first time going abroad. I had no idea what I was doing. So I thought, maybe I might need this, or I might need that, or what about the bags? It's just stupid, irrelevant shit, right? It was just dumb shit, but it meant a lot to me because I've been planning it for so long, and I've gone from being fucking dead broke to making enough money to actually make it happen. I didn't want anything to go wrong. So it was a big thing that I made in my mind, which is why it was so scary for me. But fucking noise, bro. Let's just think about for a second, even if that worst case scenario did happen, even if I didn't make it, even if I had to stay in shitty Manchester and I didn't get this beautiful experience and I didn't get to go and see my girl, even if that happened, I'd survive. It's not the end of the world. It's not going to break me. It's not going to kill me. I'd get over it. And you must understand that no matter what happens to you in your life, you have two options. Always you have two options. You're either going to adapt to it or you're going to die. And that's it. If you adapt to it, that's great, that's a positive. You'll get used to it, just like you get used to everything in life. If someone's torturing you, you can only be tortured for so long before you just become numb to the pain. You don't even feel it anymore. That's adaptation. And the second option is you just die. And if you die, so what? You don't know anything about it anyway. It's over, it's done. Lights out. So, when I reminded myself of that fact that, okay, no matter what happens to me in this world, literally no matter what happens to me, I'll either adapt to it or I'll die. And regardless of which option happens to me, I'll be fine. And I think this is important because we get into this mode through imagination, which I'm going to touch on in a second, where we start to take life a bit too seriously. We start to over-exaggerate problems. We start to over-amplify negatives that don't really need to be over-amplified. And then we strip away our enjoyment, we strip away our presence from life. And now, what's the fucking point then? Do you know what I mean? If you're just going through life every single day and you're not even enjoying it, you're not even experiencing it anymore, because you're in your head all the time, there's just no point. I believe the purpose of life is to experience things, is to enjoy it, well, it's whatever you want it to be really, but for me it's just to experience everything, good and bad. So if I'm in my head the whole time I'm living, on this one go that I get around this earth, if I'm constantly just in my own mind, I'm not taking in the things going on around me in the present moment, I'm not living, am I? I'm just simply existing, I'm deteriorating, I'm waiting to die. So the important thing is to remember that no matter what happens to you, you'll either adapt to it or you will die. And if you die, that might sound scary, it might seem a bit insensitive for me to say that to you, but once it's happened, you don't know any different anyway. That's it, it's done. So if you can adopt this nonchalant kind of, is what it is, mindset towards everything in life, even things that mean a lot to you. For example, in this situation, this meant a lot to me. I wanted to make it out here, right? I told my girl I'd make it out here. I promised her I'd make it out here. So it's a big thing in my mind. Even if the worst case scenario happened and I didn't make it, so I'd adapt to it, just crack on, deal with it. There's a study done that shows that your mind's prediction receptors are so unrealistic. And there was a study done, people that got HIV results, for example, when they got the results back, they predicted it would be like the most life-changing, damaging thing in the world, that they would never recover from it mentally, it would scar them for life, like, you know, it would genuinely break them. When they got the results, yeah, it was sad and it wasn't very nice, but they adapted to it, just got over it. Because that's what your mind does, hedonic adaptation. Go and Google that term, hedonic adaptation. It's, for example, when you take cold showers and your body just gets used to the sensation of the cold, your nervous system and your mind have adaptation receptors in it that can literally adapt to anything. And if it can't, then you'll just die. And then you won't know any different. It's the same thing. So there's no point worrying. There's no point living your one life on this earth, one spin around this world just worrying about shit. In fear, in this negative vibration. What is the point? Even if situations aren't going the way you expect them to, or aren't going the ideal way that you'd like them to, it's all an experience. You may as well just enjoy it regardless. And that brings me on to the last point, which is imagination. The reason I was feeling fear in that situation was because I was imagining the worst case scenario. Whether I knew it or not, subconsciously or consciously, I was imagining the worst case scenario. In my brain, I was feeding that thought of like, oh, what if something goes wrong? What if I don't make it? What if for whatever reason I get stopped at security and I'm not allowed to go through because I don't have a visa or some bullshit? Just like making shit up in my head. And I think we do that every single day on a day-to-day basis, every single day. So it's important to understand that you're always in control of your imagination. And like I mentioned before about your nervous system, it can't tell the difference between imagination and reality. So you may as well just imagine the best case scenario, right? That will make you feel the most positive emotions. And if you feel the most positive emotions, you're most likely acting at your best. You act better when you're feeling good. When life's going your way, you act more optimally. So if you are in situations where, for example, you're going to go and talk to that girl in the gym, or you're going to go and start that new business, your prediction should be successful. You should expect success. You should always imagine the best case scenario. And I know it's going to be hard. It might be like a little mental tug of war sometimes to fight off that caveman brain, to fight off the fear. But what other option do you have? You just give up and you allow fear to take over and control you. Always keep your mind positive, always keep your thoughts positive, and always keep your imagination positive. If you can do that, you'll be fine. And these situations like I just described earlier won't take such control over you. Because I was sat on the plane and thinking to myself, why the fuck has this been such a stressful and fear-inducing experience? It should be fun. I've never done it before. I've never been on a plane before. It should be enjoyable. So, and it was a new experience and it was enjoyable, but at the same time it was stressful. You know, I didn't need to have that stress. It was unnecessary. But it was only caused from my own brain, my own mind. Nothing in reality was telling me that something was going to go wrong. But in my mind, I predicted it as if it was. And that just goes to show the power of your mind, right? So make sure you're always keeping it positive. The coaching is down below in the description if you want to learn more from me. Video courses are also down below as well. Come and take a look at this view before I leave. Looks like it's going to storm. The weather in this country is either absolutely boiling hot, sunny. I mean, it's always hot, but it's either sunny or thunderstorms. There's no in between. And it goes like that. I thought Manchester was bad, but it goes from sunny to literally pissing it down with rain and thunder instantly. So it's kind of crazy, but it's exciting, man. Plenty of content to come. Look after yourself, and I will see you soon. Bye.